Hey guys, Tarek Merryface, and welcome to this new episode on how to become an airline pilot. Today we'll be looking at the very first license, the PPL or Private Pilot License. The PPL allows you to fly small planes in visual flight rules. That means there are no instrument approaches to mess around with. Don't worry though, that comes later. The PPL is really one of the most important licenses you do because it teaches you all the core skills you need to fly a plane. You know how to turn, how to land, how to take off, all that stuff. It's all applicable to every plane. There will be some changes here and there, but overall, these flying skills you learn then is what you'll be using the rest of your life. You'll also be learning the navigation skills, you'll also be learning the communication skills. All of it comes from this point on, from the very beginning. So a good PPL training is vital. So to start your PPL training, you do need to fill some prerequisites. The first one is that you have to be at least 14 years of age to start any sort of flight training. The second is that to be able to complete the license itself, take the final exam, you have to be at least 17 years old. You can first solo an aircraft at the age of 60. You also need a Class 2 medical. The Class 2 medical is the non-professional medical test. However, if you're going to become a professional airline pilot, you need the Class 1. And then finally, you have to go through paperwork. Don't worry though, because your flight school will help you out with this. So what is in the training? What's in the PPL training? Well, you're going to have to do 7 written exams. I'm sorry. They're not even written, they're just theories. They're MCQs, multiple choice question exams. This is great for those of you who have difficulties expressing yourself in English. Although if you are one of those guys, you do need to learn English properly. English is the aviation's official language. So it's very, very important that you learn the language. You'll be flying at least 45 hours, although the average is 60, because people will, relapse because they haven't been flying for a while, either because of weather, or because of work, or financial reasons, whatever. In those 40 hours, you will need at least 20 hours of dual flight training and at least 10 hours of solo flying. Now, the rest is up to you. Some people decide to fly with instructors to practice things they can't practice solo and not to develop bad habits. Other people decide to fly it all solo so that they can add the pilot in command time for future licenses. A middle ground is usually best. You also complete your first solo flight, which is really cool. You'll be taking off from the airfield you usually fly at, do a circuit, and land back at the airport. One of the official requirements to get your PPL is that you have to fly a flight that is 150 nautical miles away from your original airport and that lands at least 2 other different airports. You will also be passing a radio telephony test, or an RT test. This is simply an oral test that checks that you know how to talk on the radio, which you will when you're training because the instructor will teach you how to do that. Okay, so once you've filled out all those requirements, you are now ready to take the final check rides. So the first thing you have to do is an oral test with your examiner. So you'll be preparing your flight, the examiner will come and you will brief him on the flight and he'll be asking questions about it, and then he'll be asking you hypothetical questions, making sure that you know all this stuff. He'll be testing your knowledge. It's not a trick, it's not, he's not trying to catch you out, he's simply making sure that you know stuff. You know the right amount of stuff to be a safe pilot. If you pass the oral, which you probably will, you will then do the check ride. Now, the check ride is fun, but it's very, very nerve-wracking because it's difficult. There's a guy writing in a piece of paper about you while you're flying a plane. Check ride will last between an hour and a half to about 3 hours, although more than 2 and a bit hours is quite rare. And once you've done that, you will become the official and proud owner of the private pilot license. Congratulations. Now that being said, I do have a bit of a warning to give you guys. When you're very close to completing your pilot's license, you sort of go onto an ego trip. Aviation really is, it has this very, very nasty ego trap. And I fell into that trap, so I'd like to warn you guys not to fall into that trap. The problem is when you start doing your PPL, when you're just about to finish it, you've collected just enough knowledge to think that you know everything. And what happened is that when reality comes and bites you in the backside, you fall from a very, very, very tall pedestal. I learned that the hard way, as I said, and I'd like you guys not to do that. Remember, a private pilot license is simply a license to learn. It is also one of the most fun licenses you will do in your life. It is some of the best experiences you'll have. So go in, 100% full steam, with an open heart, ready to learn and ready to have fun. Well, that's it for today. I'm Tarek Merryface. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to check out my other videos and subscribe if you can. And also, please check out my website, www.merryfaceaviation.com. From that website and from the link in the description, today it's here, but I knew a few years ago it was on the site, you can download the guide. There's already a full guide on how to become an airline pilot. It tells you all the information you need about how to become an airline pilot. It's basically this series, but on paper format. I'll see you guys next time, and happy flying.